Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Speedify Live Office Hours. I'm Alex. This is Mike. And we are here to answer your questions about Speedify. If you don't have any questions about Speedify, we'll take other questions about technology. Don't have any questions about technology, we'll take any questions you've got. Let's try to do them in that order. So, if you have questions about Speedify or anything else, post them in the comments underneath wherever you're watching this video, particularly if it's Twitch or YouTube. And we will see them and we'll answer them. So, hi Vadim, good to see you've joined us. I'm not going to say it hi to everybody. But good to see you. So, airplane Wi-Fi. If you guys fly, do you use it? Or do you sit offline for the length of your flight? Very curious about that. I used to like, airplane was a place I could just get focused and no one would interrupt me. I could just my laptop, my headphones. Yeah. But the seats are too small. They keep shrinking the seats. You can't. So now it's become I'm just offline.
Yeah. You need to
There's
relax.
nothing I can do. So, so I don't do airplane Wi-Fi. No, I'm not religiously opposed to it, but it's not like I can get my laptop on it because there's no space in the tiny seats. Maybe I need to upgrade myself to a better class of ticket, but I'm too cheap for that.
I wonder if you get faster Wi-Fi the more you get first class.
Maybe. I mean, so there's all sorts of stuff. I mean, of course, the reason I'm asking is Starlink and stuff is coming. All right, so Pixel Bay has a question. What new changes are in 15.6.2? All right. So the point 2, I'll say, is not much. Right. There were a few little fixes, perhaps from Mac.
Yeah, so the Mac got a little bit of a revamp-ish. Before the Mac was basically a background agent app. So you start Speedify, there's a little icon up at the top of the menu bar. You set it and forget it. But a lot of you asked for the Mac to be available in the dock or in the force quit menu or in the app switcher, and we gave that to you. So if Speedify is on and connected, we give you those options. And if Speedify is disconnected, we actually return to a background agent app. We'll disappear. So yeah, really, really cool, small nuances for Mac.
All right. And Matthew says, I don't know, bunch of icons. All right. So I think there's a 15.6.3 with just a few more bug fixes likely to go out something like today.
Yeah, we're just following little things that we can polish up to make sure that, whatever 15.7 or above is ready to go. And
yeah. All right. So, boom, boom, boom. All right. So what are you working on these days? What's coming next from Mike and Speedify?
What is the push for this week? I mean, a lot of Mac optimizations. We're working on, I guess we could say it's some router, OpenWRT router stuff, making that just a little bit more Speedify UI friendly, things of that nature. Probably looking into some more Starlink stats, see what we can get in the near future. Just kind of revolving around those two doors.
Yeah, we were messing with our Starlinks this morning, the ones on the roof here, and we ran out of priority data.
Oof, that's a killer.
It's a killer.
Yeah.
Holy cow! Suddenly everything is so slow.
Beginning of the month.
yeah. So I'm not. Is it on the month? Did we really use it all up in 3 days? I think we did.
Wow. Oops. But how many people actually hit this? I mean, I'm assuming if you're gaming or on PC gaming pretty hard, you might run into these data caps fairly.
Well, I don't think gaming does, right?
Minimal data. Yeah, I mean, if
it's
you're
like
heavy user,
like when you start torrenting or trying to work in 4K video, right?
You start getting the games.
4K video, yeah, you're downloading all the games.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So, a little bit painful.
So what, do you get 50 gigs of priority data a month? Is that what the service
Yeah,
is?
the ones here on the roof have 50 gigs of priority.
Okay.
The third one is so those are on an enterprise plan.
All right.
And they're apparently prioritized higher but have less data, right? The other one is just a consumer RV plan.
So is that...
Which actually has a lot more data.
Okay. All right.
Kevin took it home with him.
Well, good. Kevin needs that. We don't need to work it.
Yeah. Now Kevin has no excuse. So that's good. The streaming games, right? So meaning when you're actually watching you're playing a live stream of the game playing on a console somewhere. That adds up into a lot of data. A lot of data.
And those are gaining popularities, thankfully. Computing in the cloud and everything is almost zero lag. Yeah, I mean, for me, my
Google
perspective,
gave up on it, right?
Well, yeah. Well, you got the small, like the non-gamers, I guess. You know, like the Netflixes and things like that let you do that. And even the PlayStation 5 lets you stream your console in the cloud and play it, portably.
Nice.
Maybe Switch 2 will do that too.
Maybe. Just remember, you gotta switch to. Do not peel the plastic off the screen.
Oh, wait, why? What happened? I didn't see this.
Nintendo announced yesterday that the plastic on the Switch 2 screen is not to be peeled off. That is part of
Oh,
the
it's part of...
screen.
people are just... Oh, no.
Yeah. They put a plastic coating on the screen, I guess, to protect it, and people are trying to peel it off and damaging their Switches.
There's always something with Nintendo.
Yeah, always, guys. Vadim asks, could you tell us a bit about how you got started with Speedify development from the very beginning? So many different possible, very different beginnings. So we were doing Connectify Hotspot. So this, I'll start at that point. This was Windows software for turning a Windows computer into a Wi-Fi router. It is still the best way to turn a Windows computer into a Wi-Fi router. And people just kept asking us about how can they, because we were the people doing the coolest things in networking on Windows. And so we had a couple different people ask us about combining different internet connections.
Yeah. And
so I and the two Brians, Pradell and Lutz, just went to a whiteboard. Bonna told us we should can't you do this?
Yeah.
So the three of us went to the whiteboard and spent about 15 minutes drawing pictures of all the different ways you could combine internet connections. We covered everything that everyone's done ever since.
Okay.
And we figured out what the best one was, and that was Speedify, and the second best was Dispatch. And MPTCP invented later,
that was later,
distant third to any of those. And so we just started making it. So for a while, it started off on Windows, really, because that's where we were the experts.
Yeah.
But we quickly realized we wanted this on everything. And it was in 2016 that we finally launched at CES, with the support for iPhone, support for Android. And in a real way, I mean, that's kind of when we became what we are,
Yeah.
Till then, we were the people who did Connectify Hotspot, right? And we were messing around with VPNs on the side. But after that, we were the people who did Speedify, who messed around with Connectify. Yeah, so we were at CES 2016, I guess January 2016. Mark Cuban walks by our booth, and Bonna, standing next to me, yells, "Mark!" And he just beelines, walks right up to her, says, "What are you doing here?"
That's fantastic.
"What is this? Why would I buy it?" And he Shark Tanked us right there. And he said, "This is not what I want. What I want is for my phone to share its cellular to my computer without, all the cables and stuff. So, pair and share. We built it, Mark." It took us several years, but Mark Cuban, when he saw Speedify, he described pair and share as what he wanted. It took us
No.
like 9 years because other people who were actually paying us were asking for other things. But yeah, we made what Mark Cuban asked for. Boy, maybe we should try shooting him an email.
Say, we need
surprisingly
to start
often, and once or twice, Bonnet would afterwards just she found an email address for Mark Cuban online, shot him an email with a question. What appeared to be Mark Cuban answered. But yeah, certainly not wasting his time. I think it's probably easy to annoy that man, and then you just never hear from him again, right? All right, how is Speedify better optimizing for cloud gaming like Boostroid and GeForce Now Xbox Cloud Gaming? So the beauty of us, right, is that we can make all of your, because we have this extra layer of software in the middle, we can do a bunch of tricks. One, we can let you use multiple internet connections. So if one gets knocked out, if one flakes out, we can move all your traffic without breaking the socket, without breaking your game. We can move you from one connection to another. We can spread you across. They all have packet loss. We can use them redundantly. Actually send your www, whatever, bang on the keyboard across all of the connections at the same time and only deliver to the game the one that gets through first. So we lower your latency.
Even look at our stream is saving from excessive latency and loss right now. It would work the same way with your gaming. I mean, it's a beautiful graph right here.
Yeah. So here we are. So we got, what did I do? There we go. Ethernet Wi-Fi to Starlink, which is now throttled.
Yep. Oh yeah, look at that MOS score from there.
Look, the MOS score has dropped to 1 bar.
We know it's bad.
All right, Speedify knows it stinks. So throttled Starlink, ugly. And then, I didn't plug in my iPhone. And then if you want another connection, you can tether an iPhone. Here's an iPhone that's on AT&T. We'll just plug it in. This cable runs here. Computer, USB goes to the Mac. And then we go back here and voila. Who did this? All right.
What was it set to?
I said secondary.
That's probably why we're getting a nice graph going.
All right. So there we go. So we got multiple connections going. So anyway, all good. So that's Speedify in action. So yeah, so cloud gaming, as Ryan is pointing out, really has higher requirements for bandwidth. Because all the graphics have to come down to you, right? A lot of other games, first-person shooters and stuff that aren't that style, the messages coming down are, the orc steps forward, the orc steps forward, the orc hits you and does 15 damage, right? I mean, they're these little text messages. The cloud gaming, it is the movie of the orc coming towards you. It is thousands of times the bandwidth. All right. Boop. Any upcoming deals for the service? Want to use this on my iOS device? Would love to use this on my iOS devices. Probably.
Do you have anything running right now?
I don't know. We have sales a lot. Go look at our website. Individuals. Family. Wow. Is this the week we're not on sale? Had to happen sometime. Hey, Ryan, do we have any active coupons we could share with Sean? I'd be happy to drop a coupon on some of our customers here. All right. Yeah. All right. So let's see. What else is coming? What's Kevin working on these days?
Kevin, we were talking about getting some of the jitter buffer stuff into the UI for next release. Kevin's working on a lot of I guess enterprise stuff. But we have WWDC next week.
Oh,
so that might lend
well,
a...
let's talk about this. What are we
Yes.
expecting at WWDC next week?
Oh.
Well, what is WWDC?
Well, WWDC is the Worldwide Developers Conference for Apple. So Apple, in every June, releases all the APIs and kind of, you know, the direction for developers for the upcoming year. And then you get the new iPhones in September with a lot of the stuff they announced in June, hoping developers adopt that. But I think it's going to be another year, well, the biggest year for Apple in regards to AI. I think they're going to release a lot of APIs, which is like how developers can use their code to build more AI widgets into their app to basically make Siri smarter. I mean, they already shocked us a little bit, but it's going to be iOS 26.
iOS 26.
Yeah, so
all that stuff they promised to release in iOS 19, they're now off the hook.
Now they're off the hook. Yeah,
they're off the hook.
That had to have been a legal move, right? Like, there's no other way around it.
No, they're trying to move to years, right?
It's smart.
If they're doing one release a year, the
Yeah.
release might as well be the year.
Yeah, the Mac. I like that it's cohesive. Now you're on Mac 26. I know what year you're on. I know what you're running. I don't have to look up what Sequoia 10 dot whatever it is.
Yeah, that WatchOS 10 goes with iOS 14.
It's weird.
Like, you know, what? Didn't know.
But yeah, I haven't seen. I think the hopefully Apple releases some shockers. I'm hoping for maybe not a dub, but Apple glasses this year. I think they're very close to releasing those. I know the iPhone's going to get a revamp with their anniversary issue next year. So let's see what that leads up to for this year. Yeah, Apple's been a little bit all over the place, but I think it's going to be an AI year. Yeah.
I mean, they really had trouble with the AI, right?
It's such a shame because we see why Apple doesn't adopt things so early, because when they do, if they don't get it right, there's too many people using the products that it's just horrible.
How have your users found their experience with Android OS? Note that Android supports only a single active VPN connection at a time. Actually, that's not quite true. Android, you can run 2 VPN connections at the same time. If you set up a work folder, you can put some apps in the work folder. And the apps, if you put a VPN in there, then the apps in the work folder go through the work VPN that's in there, right? Where the apps outside the folder use the regular VPN.
Insane. That's so cool.
So you can have a folder where you put your work apps and use the company VPN in there, and those apps use the company VPN, and all the other ones, use Speedify or whatever.
That's fantastic. I wish iOS had that. I mean, wow.
But yeah, it's good. Google gives us stats on how we compare to other VPNs. It's kind of interesting, right? So I'll say this: we sure crash a lot less than the other VPNs, according to Google. They've got these charts on how often VPNs crash,
really?
and the 25% of VPNs crash this often, and half of them crash this often, and a quarter only crash this often, and we're just down at the bottom.
I mean, that's crucial, though. You don't want your VPN crashing while you're trying to browse.
Yeah. I assume that as soon as they crash, you're immediately online, unprotected, and all that, right?
Yep. No. Delete. Download Speedify.
So we're certainly kicking ass on quality. Just because it's we grab all the internet connections, even if we're the only VPN running, it doesn't apply to us. We work great on Android. Doesn't make us that much money.
We won't go there for Android.
We won't go there.
We won't insult anybody. But I do have some tech questions. So I'm curious, Alex, because it's been getting so much in my newsfeed, probably because I keep looking at it. But how do you feel about the Meta Ray-Ban sunglasses? Have you seen anybody walking around with them? You think it's like a privacy thing?
I don't have an opinion. I haven't tried them yet or whatever. I don't. What do you think?
Yeah, has anybody used them? I think they're so. I think it's an awesome concept, but I wonder because of the Google
Are they
Glass,
displaying things yet, or it's talking and taking pictures?
it talks, and you can do video and pictures, like high def pictures, but the real-time translation with the app, you can just ask it things and it just tells you while you're looking at it. It saves you, what, 10 seconds from looking at your phone, but I'm hands-free. It just looks so appealing. I mean, I would love an iOS version, but I'm so tempted to go and try them. It's weird, but yeah. And I even hear the quality is great. I mean, Ray-Ban makes great glasses, and everybody says the audio is really good. So
nice. Yeah, so it's off the frame. Is it bone conducting?
It's bone conducting. Yep.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So you got the two cameras that are the only thing that worries me. Like, are people going to look at you and think you're videoing them all the time? I mean, you have to say, Meta, take a video. So it's can't really sneak up on people, but I don't know.
So I got convinced I was going deaf. So I went to the doctor yesterday and got the full hearing test. And turns out I'm just old. Perfectly normal hearing for a dude as old as me.
Are people convincing you that you're deaf, or did you think most of you like?
It turns out I'm just not listening, right?
Yes, exactly. You need a doctor. I'm like, no, I'm just tuning you out.
All right. Anyone got any Speedify questions? You guys are really quiet today. I mean, some questions, but yeah, no. Android, we work great.
Mm-hmm.
What else? So talk about our Starlink integration. We got some stats here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so do you want to show them
steps? Oh, I guess I should show it.
So right now, Speedify integrates great with Starlink. When we detect that you're on a Starlink ISP, we query the system and show you a little bit more stats. And we're constantly monitoring for any alerts. And we have those alerts on our page so you can see what alerts we support right now. But basically, we're keeping track. And we want Speedify to be that median and say, hey, your Starlink's acting up. We're going to alert you. We're going to show you. And maybe you can handle that connection a little bit better, rather than maybe having two apps going. But it's really great because if you think you're seeing, maybe poor service on your Starlink, you can pop in here. I mean, right now we're being throttled. So if you were a user on your Starlink, you'd be like, why aren't my websites loading correctly? Obviously there's something really, really wrong. The MOS score is low. We have latency looks okay. But yeah, the speeds, especially when we're over at the station, were slow. But it's good to know that we query every 30 seconds, so it's not quite real time. And maybe we can expand that. Maybe we could go a little bit quicker on those. But definitely enable alerts for Speedify if you're running Starlink, because we're going to be there to help save you.
Maybe we do something where, like, it's very, like, if you pull this up, so you're watching the stats that we go faster.
I think we can definitely do something
we're sort of running in the background all the time.
Yeah. It's just version 1. I think we could do a lot more, but that's a great idea.
Yeah, and we don't yet show alignment.
That's on the task. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Knowing that the dishes should be twisted 15 degrees. We know that. We can tell you that.
And I think, these satellites are getting so much more popular, especially in consumers, and now they're integrating with all of our phones. It's really a fantastic thing.
I think the sky is really the limit. Not to make a dumb pun, but like there's so much bandwidth, from 10 to 60 gigahertz, right? That you can use pointing up at the sky, and then there's lasers, space lasers. Space lasers, everybody. I think they're going to be able to get 10 times as much. 2 years from now, the satellites that go up will be able to provide 10 times the speed. Now, whether that's 10 times the speed to each dish or 10 times as many people with dishes, it's hard to say how that'll all shake out. But I think this is going to get a lot bigger. I think this is going to be a huge business.
The numbers that they could yield are, some of these other providers, hopefully we see prices come down. Because I still think everything's super high, but if we're going to have this much bandwidth up in the sky, we have so many choices, maybe it'll help us as consumers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've said that, although they may change their mind, right? Their goal is not to compete with the internet service providers in cities, right?
Sure.
Except in London, they filled, right? Apparently in London, internet is so expensive and so unreliable because of whatever, monopoly has it, that in fact so many people ordered Starlinks that was the first spot on Earth that Starlink ran out of bandwidth.
Really? Wow.
London. They
Okay.
completely filled it.
Don't worry, we're not going after
there
cities.
were so many dishes on London buildings that they couldn't service them all. They had to say, stop selling dishes in London, England, because apparently it was just cheaper and more reliable than the actual service there, which is probably an indictment of whatever monopoly controls
they did it on
internet in
purpose,
London,
yeah.
right? Those people were getting ripped off. So, all right. So we talked about parent share. What is parent share?
So parent share is a semi-new feature, but it allows you to easily share your cellular connections back and forth between multiple Speedify users on the same local network. So think of it as like a turbocharged personal hotspot, but instead of just one device sharing its connection with another, once paired, both devices can share and receive each other's connection simultaneously. So right now, I mean, I'm wireless with the Mac. I could send a request to the Mac, as you can see right here.
Nice. All right, I'll accept that pairing.
And now my phone is wirelessly sharing my bandwidth with the Mac, and we can share with the Alex phone, and they can share back and forth. So
rename your device. Put Mike in the name.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's see that.
Easy.
Yeah, the interesting, this Google Pixel 6 cellular, I don't know where that phone is. I don't know where it's not one of the phones on the desk here. Someone in this office wirelessly said, "Go ahead, Mac. You can use my internet," and it could be stuck in someone's pocket for all I know.
And it's great. Everything's encrypted, so I'm not seeing what Alex's computer's doing. He's not seeing what my iPhone's doing.
That's correct. Yeah. Everything. So when your PC uses parent share, it encrypts everything you do with a key that only the server can unencrypt, which means that if you send your data through my phone, I cannot spy on you. I don't have the key. Would you consider becoming a networking standard like IP? I think that would take someone in some giant company in some sense buying us out, to be honest. Because I mean, more than anything, just slows everything down, right? Now we need all these people writing standards and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. One of the reasons we're so much better than anything based on MPTCP, multipath TCP, the standard for bonding, right? People sort of saw us and, I think tried to copy us and write a standard that would do everything we did.
It didn't work.
But we're doing new versions like every 6 weeks.
Yes. It's very upkept.
I mean, good Lord, you look back at the stupid things from our point of view now that we were doing back in December 2024.
Yep.
Much less 2021 or 2016. It's crazy. We are working through issue after issue, adding features and improvements and weird situations. If you fix a problem in MPTCP, it does you no good. Right? You have to, convince the standards people to put out a new version of standards? And then you've got to get Android,
then you got to
iOS,
get the providers.
Mac. Yes. Windows hasn't even implemented, unless I missed it very recently. There's no MPTCP in Windows.
No.
Yeah. You need a new version of Linux kernel. You cannot use it unless everything gets upgraded. Now, it's a better situation than IPv6, right? So IPv6, you need to get all the computers upgraded and all the routers. It's impossible. No wonder they got stuck, right?
Yeah.
MPTCP, they were clever in that they wrote the protocol so that routers that don't know anything about MPTCP will still do the right thing. Clever boys or girls, whoever. But they still need to upgrade all the computers around the edge, right? So they're just down to hundreds of millions of computers that need updates.
That's it.
Billions. Okay. So huge improvement. But still brutal. So a friend of mine who works at a very, very large technology company actually said that, we do it on purpose. We move the standards meetings around and we have too many of them, we make sure they go slowly to try to get rid of the startups.
Oh, goodness
right? We want to make
gracious.
sure that us, the big companies, keep control of the standards. So we make sure that it all moves too slowly.
It's a great way. Maybe try plugging
Fine.
your phone's cord. Maybe it's dead.
I think my trackpad just ran out here, so I just had to unplug the iPhone. Yeah. Team says I'm right. No MPTCP in Windows.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I've noticed that sometimes a website will stop responding when using VPN. Is that something that's a potential solution when using Speedify? Yeah, you should try it. So there's all sorts of reasons for that. Mostly packet loss on your network, right? I mean, a lot of times you walk to your driveway, you walk out your front door, and all the websites stop responding. And it's, in fact, because your Wi-Fi is dropping so many packets. Speedify will notice this, and if there's another link, like your cellular, go use it immediately before you see a problem. So there's lots and lots of situations where we fix exactly that. I mean, if the website's JavaScript is crashing in your browser, we don't help with that. But if the reason is that your internet connections are behaving badly, either because you're on a satellite link that goes out when a cloud goes by, or because you walked out to your driveway and now your Wi-Fi is dropping 10% of packets, then yeah, we'll fix those. Coyote Express. Oh, the Lost Boys back live. How's it going? Ah. All right. Hey, Coyote. Been a long time. When can we set up Speedify on the way that in-motion Starlink Go, let's say below 1,000 kilobits per second, to use the 5G LTE as backup without a break on a live stream? I would do that as secondary. I would use the 5G LTE as secondary and set the Starlink to primary.
And that should be
that should be
the
default. So Speedify will try to use the Starlink first, and if everything you're doing fits on that primary connection, then you're good. But if it's not fast enough for whatever you're trying to do, then it'll turn on the secondary connections and start bonding to them, which sounds like what you want. Also, Ryan points out, if there are, some websites just don't want to talk to VPNs, there's a bypass feature to get around that. So give it a try. All right, we are at 10:37. I think we've been going for more than half an hour. All right, I think we're gonna call it then. Thanks, guys. This was awesome. Thank you, Mike. I know you're very busy. So thanks, everyone, and I'll see you all online.